80s, you might have been hearing it out of a boombox. A very loud boombox. Maybe too loud. Can you turn that down a bit? Thanks. That's better. Big stereo speakers, a tape deck or two, and lots of heavy D batteries. Boomboxes were first introduced in the late 1970s, so instead of listening at home, you could take the beat to the street.
It meant that you were like a walking jukebox, if you will. So you had music, and, you know, I guess in the area, I grew up in the Bed-Stuy section of Brooklyn, so it was a cool, typical, fun thing. Everybody would gather around it to hear that cool music.
Artist and hip-hop pioneer Fab Five Freddy remembers the sounds of the city.
How important is the bass to the boombox?
Well, the bass was important to the boom. I mean, that's where the boom comes from, is because, you know, the popular music, as we came from, you know, funk, of course, disco, and then hip-hop, that bass was important, and getting a good, clean, boom, boom bass meant a lot.
In the early 80s, hip-hop was still in its infancy. It wasn't on MTV, and you could hardly hear it on the radio. But through the boombox, you could listen to songs often dealing with urban decay and racial injustice. Songs like The Message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five.
The bill collectors, they ring my phone and scare my wife when I'm not home. Got a bum education, double-digit inflation, can't take the train to the job. There's a strike at the station.
Those stories weren't being written, and they certainly weren't being published in poetry or mainstream publications like that. So what better way than to communicate a message through sound, which has been done, you know, through the history of music. The boombox as an image represents community, it represents defiance, it represents an outgoing nature, it represents I need to be seen, paid attention to, and defined.
Nice.
Nice. Photographer Lyle Owerto has his own collection of boomboxes. Their images and stories are documented in his new book, The Boombox Project.
You hear stories of back in the day, like on the beach, and they're all listening to their own boom boxes, and they all tune them in together, and, like, you know, get that same song going so that it's like a whole democracy of sound.
Of course, not everyone wanted to join this sonic community.
We need a spot that we can sit back and enjoy something other than a lot of loud music.
The boombox had its detractors, a sentiment popularized in the 1986 film Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. But it was too late. Sorry, Mom and Dad. The boombox was everywhere.
The boombox is borderless.
Right.
And it wasn't just an inner city thing. It extended around the globe, and it was wherever people wanted to listen to music, whether it was a beach cafe, in a mechanic shop, in an artist studio.
Today, the boombox is regarded as a symbol of rebellious spirit and remains a pop culture icon. And though it is still seen, it's no longer heard. Looks like the big bad boombox got drowned out by the little bitty Walkman. The boombox was on the wrong side of history, getting bigger as people were plugging into smaller and smaller devices. So small nowadays, they fit in the palm of your hand.
And so this ability to be in your own little bubble and hear music, you know, still get great sonics, but just right into your ear as opposed to everybody else's. It was good for some people and bad for others.
And though it might be gone, it's always important once in a while to hit pause, then rewind, and pay respect.
Up next, the salt from the earth.